Building your own PC feels like a rite of passage, right up until that moment something goes wrong and you have absolutely no idea why. So here are 25 real mistakes. Some you will have definitely heard of, and some that you might not have, but all of them can quietly break builds every single day. So you voted for this one. 67% of you picked 25 mistakes over the rerun video. So here it is. And also, thank you ever so much for being patient with me while I've been away. And if you're new here, welcome. And I just want to do a quick shout out to 10bears8844 in the poll comments who kicked things off with the classic HDMI into the motherboard story. We're starting right there. And another very quick one before we get into it. Phixero very kindly sent me their P10 Pro portable SSD to check out. And full disclosure, this unit is a gift. But I used their 1 terabyte drive all day, so this one here, as a recovery drive whilst I was testing a data recovery tool. This actually runs USB 3.2 Gen 2 and is rated up to 10 gigabytes per second. So it's close to 10 times a typical HDD or micro SD card. And it actually showed. I expected this thing to get a little bit warm whilst I was running it that long. But it turns out that it handles heat a lot better than plastic. And it stayed reasonably cool the whole time. And I also love that it's barely bigger than a phone. Look at that. And it also comes with a, as you can see here, 2-in-1 Type C, Type A cable. So it plugs in anywhere. And I must admit, I was genuinely impressed by this. It's already being utilized on a daily basis. So if that interests you, the link for this thing is in the description. Now, onto the list itself. So kicking things off, yes, plugging the monitor into the motherboard and not the GPU. If your board has a video output, Windows will very happily boot off it, even with a graphics card installed. You'll get a picture, just not the one your GPU itself is rendering. An hour of why is my new GPU doing nothing later? Well, that is the fix. Number 2. Not enabling XMP or EXPO. Fresh RAM will run at base speeds of, say, 4,800 megahertz instead of the 6,000 megahertz that's on the box until you flip one setting in the BIOS. Lots of people never touch it, and you are taking more performance off the table straight away. Number 3, forgetting the CPU power connector. So not the 24 pin that I've got here, but the separate 8 pin near the top of the board. Some systems will not even post without it. Others will boot fine and just throttle particularly hard. So it looks like it's a bad CPU instead of one loose cable. I may have done this one once or twice. Number 4, buying based on cheap PSU wattage alone. So a 750 watt no-name unit and a 750 watt Seasonic are not the same product. Bargain bin power supplies skimp on protection, and worst case scenario, a failure takes other components down with it. Don't cheap out on your PSU. Number 5, cranking your cooler mount screws unevenly. So, most coolers need a cross star tightening pattern. So very similar to a car wheel. Not that I do that very often, but that's so that the pressure lands evenly across the chip. So tighten one screw fully before moving on to the next instead, because one side of the cooler, if you do not do this, will sit looser than the other. So that side of the CPU will get worse contact and run hotter. People usually blame this on the thermal paste before anything else. Number 6, using thermal paste or more thermal paste to be safe. A pea-sized dot is genuinely enough. Excess paste can squeeze out past the die, and in rare cases, it actually insulates instead of conducting. Number 7, case fans facing the wrong way. Every fan has a flat and a rib side. Air blows out of that flat side. So install a stack of fans backwards and you have built yourself a very expensive way to recirculate warm air. 8, and on the note of fans, thinking that more fans equals better airflow. Airflow is a path and not a head count. Fans fighting over each other, intakes and exhausts placed with no clear direction, well, doing this can perform worse than actually a simple front to back setup with half as many fans. Number 9, front mounting your AIO radiator. It cools the CPU with nice fresh air and then it blows that now very warm air straight onto your GPU. And on hot days, this can bump graphics card temperatures up noticeably. Don't do that. Number 10, skipping a bench test before final assembly. So use the motherboard box to power everything on outside of the case. This takes literally 2 minutes and it has saved me an untold amount of dismantling time. Okay, so very slight confession. Somewhere around editing mistake number 7, I took a look at the timeline and it occurred to me that 25 of these is a lot, like sit down with a cup of tea lot. So here's what I'm going to do. You guys ask for 25 and you are getting all 25. What I'm not going to do is make you sit through them all in one go. So this is officially a two-parter now. So that's the first 10 done, ticked off. Part 2, the other 15 will drop next Friday at 4 p.m. So in the meantime, let me know in the comments which of today's 10 hit the closest to home, and I'll see you Friday for the rest. As always, take care, and I will see you on the next build.